Hi, I'm Steph, founder of Online Yoga School and Yoga and Ayurveda Center. Many of you have reached out and expressed an interest in hosting your own yoga teacher trainings, and you're looking for support. You're looking for answers in how you go about putting this together. So, in response to your requests, we've created a program here that will enable you to host your own yoga teacher trainings, either in person or by Zoom. And we're going to partner with you so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel on a lot of the work that's already been done. I'd like to tell you about our program. We're really excited to present to you our program so that you can host your own yoga teacher training. A lot of you have studios or student bodies that are interested in taking their practice to the next level, and you've asked for support in this area. So we've been able to put something together for you. So the first question that's probably going to come up is who qualifies to partner as a host for one of our yoga teacher trainings? Well, first of all, it's not a program that's open to the public. You must be a graduate from one of our teacher training programs, the 200-hour, 300-hour prenatal, children's, or meditation. And the teacher training that you're hosting has to be the same training that you took with us. So for example, if you want to host a 200-hour, you have to be one of our 200-hour graduates. Or if you're hosting the prenatal, you would want to be one of our prenatal graduates. And the reason why is because we want to make sure that your teacher training vision is aligned with ours and that you've already graduated from the program, so we know that you've demonstrated a thorough understanding of the material, and that way you're aligned with what we're teaching, so you're able to teach the same thing, because ultimately the students will be certified through our school. And then the only other qualification is you need at least one student. So how it generally works is that you choose the location for your training, whether you want to do it on Zoom or you're hosting it in a physical space. You would advertise the training and set your own tuition rates. So a lot of times in-person teacher trainings are significantly more expensive than online teacher trainings because you're teaching and it's taking up more time because you're physically showing up for hours and hours, and you may have other overhead expenses such as space rental. If you're printing manuals, there are a lot of expenses that go into it, and we can kind of walk you through that when you get to that point. But you would set your own tuition rate. So it depends on your market. In most places, in-person teacher trainings range from $1,500 up to $5,000. And this would be kind of a hybrid teacher training. So hopefully we would be able to continue our mission of making yoga affordable and accessible, and being able to utilize the online content will help you to keep your costs down for your students. And students, they'll enroll directly with you. They'll pay you directly. So for example, if you're charging $1,500 per student, each student would pay you the $1,500. And then once you have your student list, you'll provide us with your student list, including their names and email addresses. And we of course wouldn't contact them. You would be the person that interacted with your students. We would issue an invoice to you for the online portion of the training for your students, and then we will enroll all of your students in the online portion of the training, which is why we would need the email addresses and their names. We can track their online progress for you, and once you guys have finished your program and you have a graduation date, you can let us know when they're ready for their certificates, and we'll issue the certificates and you can present them at graduation. You decide which portions of the training that you want to teach in person and which portions of the online training that you want to utilize. So you're really able to customize your training. So for example, you might decide that you want to use all of our material, the whole training program that we have online, And maybe you'll issue a schedule to your students that, okay, this week we're going to cover yoga philosophy. And then on the weekends when you guys meet, or whatever the schedule is for when you meet, you can go over what you've learned and give your students the opportunity to practice teaching what they've learned. They can ask any questions they have. Maybe you have ideas for games or group activities. They kind of help as a learning tool to support the material that they've gone over. A lot of times people might want to do more with asana in person. So you could use the online training, but then maybe when you get together, you're teaching asana and going over how the postures feel in their bodies, helping them with personal accessibility options and whatnot. Or you might decide that, you've got a really strong anatomy background and you don't want to use our anatomy section, but you'd like to use everything else. So you get to really kind of pick and choose what works for you as you customize your training. And then you choose the schedule. You decide whether you're going to do it online or in person, how often you're going to meet, and what you'll be doing when you meet. Our school, Yoga and Ayurveda Center, certifies the students. And if you're registered with Yoga Alliance and you'd like your students to have the option to register with Yoga Alliance, we can add you to our school as a trainer, and we can add the dates of your training to our school profile. Now, Yoga Alliance has rules about time spent with a lead trainer, and if they're certifying through our school, I would be the lead yoga trainer. So we would have to make sure that the students are spending at least the minimum required time with me throughout the program. We really like making yoga accessible and affordable, and we believe here that yoga teacher training is not something for the elite. So we want to help you guys out on the online portion of the hybrid training. So if you've got 0 to 4 students, then our fee for the online portion of the training would be $375 each. If you have 5 to 10 students, our fee would be $350 each. If you have 10 to 15 students, it would be $300 each. And if you have 15 or more students, it would be $250 each. So if this is something that you're interested in pursuing, just shoot us an email, info@onlineyoga.school. And the information that we'll need is, of course, your name and your contact information. We'll need the dates of the training, or the proposed dates, the location, and your training schedule or customized plan. And we can kind of help you work through this if you need help with this. But just kind of an idea of these are the portions I think I'd like to teach in person, or, a little bit of your general game plan, and we can work together to tweak that. And the number of students that you have enrolled, and maybe you have no students enrolled yet and you'd like to offer it and advertise it, and that's okay too. But just reach out, let's get the conversation started, and we'll see if we can help get you where you want to be with your yoga teacher training.